Synopsis of the Books of the Bible by J. Darby. Exodus chapter 26. Two meanings in the tabernacle and its form. Next we have the tabernacle itself, which was one through separation into two parts. There were, as the word teaches us, two meanings in the tabernacle and in its forms. In general, it was where God dwelt and revealed himself. Hence, the heavens, God's tabernacle, and the person of Christ, God's dwelling. See note. The heavenly place themselves, said the apostle, had to be purified with a better sacrifice. Hebrews 9:23. So Christ had passed through the heavens as Aaron up to the mercy seat. Hebrews 4 verse 14. Again, it is used in the same sense as a figure of the created universe. Hebrews 3 verses 3 and 4. When it is also used as the whole, as a figure of the saints, as the house over which Christ is a son. The veil was, we know, on the same divine authority, the flesh of Christ, which conceals God in his holiness and judgments, in his perfectness as sovereignty, justice itself, but manifest him in perfect grace to those to whom that person reveals itself. Note, we may add as Christians whose house we are. The body is never the subject in Hebrews. We are pilgrims walking by faith, nor is the Father. End of note. The tent and the veil and a cherubim. The tabernacle, see note, itself was formed of the same things as the veil, figuratively. I doubt not of the essential purity of Christ as a man and of the divine grace embroidered, as it were, thereon. To this was also added cherubims, the figure, as we have seen, the judicial power, see note 2, confide as we may on Christ, as man, God will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he had ordained. And again, the Father judges no man, but has commended all judgment unto the Son, and has given him authority to exercise judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Note 1. If we examine the details more closely, we will be found that in the tent and the veil there was no gold, but there were cherubims. In the ephod, gold, but no cherubim. In the hangings before the holy place, neither within in both holy place and the holy of holies. All were gold. So Christ as man, and the veil, we know, was his flesh, had the judicial authority, and we will have it as man, not only in government, but in final divine judgment. But he was man and walked as man. Within all was divine. The priesthood in the Aramaic character could not have the cherubims. There is judicial authority in heaven, but his presence there is identified with divine righteousness. As he appeared outside down here, all was perfect grace. but on an outward appearance he took neither. Note 2. When fully displayed, the cherubim showed the power, depicted, the cherubim showed the power of creation and God's attribute as displayed in the throne in the four heads of the earthly creation, man, cattle, and beast and birds, intelligence, stability, power, and rapidity of judgment. Man had made God an idol, and then he formed the throne on which God sat. End of notes. The outer covering. It seems to me that the other coverings point to him also, that he of the goatskin to his positive purity of rather to the severity of the separation from the evil that was around him, which gives him the character of a prophet, severely, not in his way towards poor sinners, but in separation from sinners. The uncompassionateness as to himself, which kept him apart and gave him the moral authority, that moral cloth of hair which distinguishes the prophet, that of the ramskin dyed red. At this point, his perfect devotedness to God. See note. His consecration to God. May God enable us to imitate him. And that of the badger skin to the vigilant holiness, both of walk and extended relationship, which preserved him and perfectly so from the evil that surrounded him. By the words of his lips, I have kept me from the path of the destroyer. He that has begotten of the God keeps himself, and that wicked one touches him not. Besides, what may be called his person, these things correspond to the new nature in us, and the new man, and in him, so far as born of the Holy Ghost, and his incarnation, his birth in the flesh, in which he was the perfect expression of it. But I speak of the things itself in practical, and or what is produced by the Spirit in us and by the Word. Note, this is drawn from the occasion on which the ram was used in the sacrifice.